Hi guys, Berry Babe here. I have tried a couple times to take a picture of my boot and then bring the camera back up and put it in here. I can't do it. I'm not gonna clip them together. I can't do that. I'm not gonna do that. I have not been successful. And I take a nice framed picture and then they squeeze it and roll around on it, and you don't get the whole look of things. So I need to do something to get a little better program, get my computer fixed. I'm here. I kind of issued a challenge to Donna O, who had not been vlogging, and I had gotten kind of sloppy with it. And I said to her, well, I will vlog any day that you vlog. Well, she gets up and out a lot earlier than I do, and I don't know if I count her calling to her bird as a real vlog, but it was a vlog, so here I am. It's later in the afternoon here. It's getting cold. I am waiting for my husband. He is going to drive me to our Birch Run Mall, Prime Outlets. They have a Crocs store there, and I'm going to see if I can get a pair of Crocs, which tend to have a thicker sole. I got this boot yesterday, and my weight is up today because I ate crap yesterday. I didn't think this boot was going to be a big deal, but it is big and it is heavy, and I think it will do the trick for my fracture, but it's a pain in the ass. And what is happening is that, as any of you who've had any kind of injury know, this boot sits up higher. So this foot is down lower. So now every muscle in my body, every time I walk, is stretched out of alignment. And so after I picked up the boot, the woman said, I was just gonna like take it and then put it on at night after I was done running around on my errands. And she said, well, we really should put this on right now. Okay, so we put the boot on. Fortunately, it's my left foot, not my driving foot, or that would be a real problem. But I went to get my allergy shot, and there's this old couple, and I use that word term loosely. They come in together, and I don't know, she gets an allergy shot, but the first thing they do is they make a beeline to all the trashy magazines and grab them all. And twice I've been in behind them, and there are no trashy magazines left. There was one, but I'd already read it. They used to have people, and I said something to the doctor, and he said, well, I don't know where it came from, and I don't know where it went, because it was there and now they don't have people anymore. I used to look forward to reading the people. For several years, it was just Fish and Wildlife and, you know, all those doctor magazines, maybe a Time kind of a thing. But there they were. She went in, and then he held the door for me, but she signed in first. So then I signed in, and by the time I got signed in, they grabbed all the magazines. So I didn't get to read any of the trashy magazines. And when you go every other week, there aren't that many new ones anyway. I don't ever buy those trashy magazines, but I will read them. And if I'm stuck in line at the supermarket, I will read them. My mother was like that with the Enquirer. That was the only my mother was a classy lady, but you almost always could find the National Enquirer. How many of you remember? I don't know, are they still even out? So anyway, I felt sorry for myself, and I was feeling heavy and clunky, and so I ended up at Target with a salty crunchy thing, and then I had to get some other things that go with salty crunchy, and ended up coming home and having some soup with the salty crunchy things that go with it, and so I'm up at least 2 pounds. I didn't know whether to wear the boot to bed, and I got online, and it seemed like most of the people had had major ankle breakage or pins and plates and that sort of thing, and they were talking about how long to wear it to bed. Well, you know, I take that water pill right before bed, so I'm up and down a lot, but I'm awake late. So I waited until I was kind of down for the count, and then I took the boot off, and then I put it back on first thing in the morning. I don't want to play around with this. I have to wear those strappy little shoes and be able to, walk in them with grace and dignity at my daughter's wedding next summer. I got to get this foot cured. So the doctor left a message on my phone. I should wear it for 6 weeks. That's just about Christmas, isn't it? That's after Christmas. And that I should contact my own doctor for an x-ray in 2 weeks to make sure it's healing. So I called and left a message at the prescription line today. I don't know what'll come for that. She's only in the office 2 days a week. So if I have to be seen to get an x-ray authorization, I'm going to have a problem. So today my eating has calmed down some, but I am still not P2 compliant. I made a fathead pizza with just ham and mozzarella. It was all right. It took me a long time. I made some and put them in the freezer. And what I did was I rolled them out and took a cake round, those cardboard cake rounds, and wrapped it in foil and laid it down and cut it in a perfect circle. And then it just fits on the little round pizza stones that I bought. So, but I forgot to spray the pizza stones and the crust stuck to it. Maybe I told you that already. So I had one mangled one left, but I couldn't find it anywhere. And so I got one out of the freezer. And I think it had too much cheese on it. I think just to do the pizza sauce with the little cheese and the little pepperoni, that's going to be better. I had a layer of mozzarella and then a double layer of ham and then more cheese, and it was too much. So it might be good cold, but I'm missing that snap of the crust. My friend Cheryl is doing low carb. She's the one that thought she might do HCG, but she's really losing quite well on just cutting back. She said, I'm amazed how much better I feel just cutting down on the carbs. So I don't know if how far she is into ketosis. I had given her some dip strips, but she can't make them turn, so she's just frustrated. So I was thinking about taking my blood meter. I'm meeting her for lunch tomorrow. We are going to Halo Burger, where we can get a pretty good burger just in a dish, and they have senior drink, and it's a small drink, but it doesn't cost you anything. So then we can sit there for a long time and drink our drinks and eat our hamburgers. And so her husband is severely diabetic, and she has tried to cook well for him, but then he goes to the grocery store and brings home cakes and cookies and ice cream and things like that. So she's kind of frustrated, but he is eating better because she's been cooking more keto-like. And he has 3 grown children, and one of them had a birthday, and they met over the weekend, and Cheryl said, it was at a pizza parlor, and Cheryl said that he didn't say a word when she took the toppings off and just ate the toppings off the pizza. So she didn't seem to feel any stress doing that. The pizza, that's a truck with some equipment on it. You'd think this would be a quiet neighborhood, but there's always somebody running a motor or an engine or something. So, I'm meeting her for lunch tomorrow, and I might go out and shop around. I decided that I liked the one kind of yoga pants. They're by Tech, and I'll have to check my Kohl's cards, coupons, to see. There was a 25% one in there. See if I can pick up a couple more pair of those if they're on sale. Because I was even wearing those out. They look good enough on me, and I don't wear them skin tight. So that works. It doesn't look like they're going to shrink up beyond anything. I have a non-scale victory. I was like, I always forget. When it was time to put the boot on, those of you that can remember being very large and having to tie your shoes, what torture it was. And one of the things that somebody had commented on at one time was that you can always tell when a person's overweight or fat because when they tie their shoes, the bow is always off to the side. Well, that's because you just can barely get yours down there. And I remember once several years ago, I took both dogs on a walk, and then my glasses fell down and my shoe came undone, and there was no way that I could manage to bend over and tie my shoes and hang on to those dogs and get my glasses back up. It was a nightmare. So, the non-scale victory. When the technician came, he said, "Let me do the work." So he is, you know, doing it, and I'm bent over, intently watching. And what I realize is I can bend straight down, put my foot in, put the straps on, and I don't have to huff or puff or hoist. I don't have to get my stomach out of the way. It's like, yes! If I was in this boot and I still was at 300 pounds, I would be I'm miserable now, but I'm not majorly miserable. But having to hoist 300 pounds around on something this size, or even up in the 200s. So that was very nice. Rick's continuing to do well on his diet. Tomorrow night and Friday night, we have what's called Candle Walk, and I've talked about this before. That's where they take milk cartons and put candles in them as luminaries, and they put them leading into town. And so when you drive into town, and if it's been snowing, and the houses on the main street all decorate, and it's very picturesque. It's supposed to either rain or snow, we don't know which. But he's with the Lions Club, and they always they sell hot dogs and bratwurst and hot chocolate and pop. Oh no, they won't have pop because the pop machine is closed. But they'll sell hot chocolate, and I don't know if they'll have cider this time, because at Oktoberfest they do cider. So it's usually pretty cold. So he goes and does that in the evening, but today he was chopping. They have, you can opt to get onions and peppers, which they have a huge grill, and the guys are standing there grilling them, and they have just pans of peppers and onions that they're sauteing, and then you get fresh peppers and onions. It's really quite something. But my husband kind of has been, he's kind of the one that runs the concession stand. And years ago they had started out using my father-in-law's old motorhome as the first concession stand, and then they were able to buy one, and he was kind of in charge when it was my father-in-law's old motorhome, and then when they transitioned to the lemonade stand, he just kind of kept being in charge. And they have a great big trailer that has all their supplies in it, and all the old guys, and they have women now. My grandfather was the Lions International President the year I was born, 1953, and there were no women. And Rick's dad always said, "The year that women can join Lions Club, I'm quitting." Well, he died before, but now they have several Lions Club members, and one woman who has actually been president is blind, and she's getting ready to get her 5th leader dog. My grandfather was one of the founders of Leader Dog for the Blind in Rochester. So Lions Club has always been special to our family, and so when I met my husband, it just kind of was a natural. His father was involved with the puppy program as a veterinarian and used to provide free care to the leader dogs. So this isn't Seeing Eye Dog. This is a similar kind of thing, but this is a not-for-profit leader dog is what they're called. So that's all. I'm getting down. I'm at 14 minutes, so I'm going to have to get finished. So I'll let you know whether or not I get my croc. The last time I went, I had a fat foot, and they had none to fit me, but my friend suggested that I look at the men's shoes and maybe getting black ones because I'm wearing big black socks. So that is all for now. I hope you're all doing well. And Andy, hat, sunscreen, even when it's cloudy. Bye.